Greetings and welcome to episode 256 of the Words About Games podcast, a weekly video game podcast for words about games, where we talk about the games industry and culture. Because I've messed up this completely. The intro, it's all wrong. It's all wrong, really. We're not going again, though. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander. I nearly died. I was wearing a hoodie. It was a whole thing. And I'm joined this week by the fully vaccinated one, David Moody. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm fully vaccinated. And I also got an Oculus Quest too, as well.
Is that your treat?
I've been getting my Beat Saber on as well. That was my treat for myself. Fully vax, get a Quest.
I'm gonna live. Time to start living.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I was aiming for a PlayStation 5, but they're still kind of out right now. And I don't need an Xbox Series X because I've got this bad boy over here next to me, what I'm using right now. So I thought, we'll get a Quest instead. Why not? Why not? Why not indeed? But yes, I am fully vaxxed, ladies and gentlemen. It feels good. It didn't. I like my brother's had his as well, and then kicked the crap out of him. He said. So I was a little bit trepidatious for it. I was thinking, oh, is this gonna knock me out for the day? And it kind of did. I was feeling more fatigued than anything. So I was just like, I'm lazing around. I'm doing nothing. I'm chilling. What films have we got? There we go. Boom. Or what show or whatever I was randomly watching. I think I started watching Down to Earth with Zac Efron again.
Okay. I got through like 2 episodes of that, and then I started watching Bill Nye instead. I don't know. I wasn't vibing with it, so I just went, you know what? I like Bill Nye. He's funny.
Well, it's the second season, I believe, coming on that, so that's all right. I'm happy about that.
And then I was like, yesterday, it wasn't just yet. I watched like in the span of like 24 hours, I watched so many films. Like I just kept going and going. What did I watch? I watched Palm Springs on Amazon Prime. That was really funny. I liked that a lot. That was a really good film. And then I watched The Kid Detective. That's pretty good. Very dark. So naturally, I liked it. It's a very dark sort of noir, modern noir. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good film. It's not on anything. I had to rent it, but it's like one of those not on any streaming platforms subscriptions, but whatever. What else did I watch? I watched Ring for the first time, the Japanese one.
Oh wow! How was that?
It's good. Like, it wasn't amazing. So like, like how everyone was like, "This is the Japanese horror film," and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good."
Well, like the American version ain't even good either. So
I mean, I've seen the American version. I guess I was writing it wrong because I'd seen the American version. I was like, "This is shit." Like, but then I've noticed that American studios remaking Japanese stuff, like the American stuff, tends to be really bad a lot of the time. So I don't fuck with that anymore. And then I watched Alien and Aliens, and like those are amazing films. So
Yep.
Couldn't go wrong with those.
You cannot at all. Film I would highly recommend for you, just because I know your love of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix.
It's on my list. It's on my list. I think the next thing I want to watch is Nomadland on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, the one that does one best.
The Oscar one, yeah.
Yeah, and best actress as well.
I don't know. I got a BFI subscription. That's how I watched Ring. I got a trial.
Yeah.
And I got it because I want to watch Akira Kurosawa films, and that's the place where you get them.
Fair.
And I've got actually 2 trials. And let me tell you what happened there. So it's available, you can just get the BFI player, but you can't get it on anything. Like, it's a browser thing. And I was like, I want to watch stuff on the TV, though. Like, not on my computer, if I can help it. It's on Amazon Prime. Oh, it's a channel you can subscribe to. It's like a separate thing. So I'll get the trial of that, and then I'll just watch the Akira Kurosawa films on my TV. It'd be great. For whatever reason, the channel on Amazon Prime doesn't have all of the films that BFI has. So I couldn't watch any of the Akira Kurosawa films. So I watched Ring. And I was like, cool. And so then I subscribed to the website, which is a separate thing, on another free trial. I haven't spent any money. And I was like, cool, I guess I'm going to have to watch these on my desktop. So I think I'm going to watch some old Japanese films. I'm interested to watch Hidden Fortress because everyone says that's basically George Lucas, like, we'll use the charitable term, adapted it when he made Star Wars. So I'm interested to see that.
Okay.
But I've seen a couple of his films. They're really good. I like it. Old films are good too.
Old films are good as well.
Palm Springs, highly recommend. Very good film.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like a friend of ours, Callum, says that, but I don't have the affiliation to the actor. Like he's hit and miss for me.
I mean, I do, obviously, but
Yeah,
honestly, the story is good. The humor is good. Kristen Milioti is fantastic. Like the actress, the lead actress.
yeah.
It's a strange film, but you know me. I'm a strange person who likes strange films.
That's true. But before you get into the news, I just want to say a happy birthday to Xbox. They're 20 today. Did you know that, Amy?
I did know that. Yes,
Did you? Yeah.
I did.
How old do we feel right now?
is this the vaccine? This is Bill Gates taking over your mind.
Bill Gates taking over my mind. Yes, indeed.
Stopping an entire podcast just to be like, Xbox. How good are you?
How good are you?
I see
Xbox?
it. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
See, if you look into my eyes properly, you see X's now.
I can see Bill Gates. Tiny little Bill Gates in your eye. God, I remember the first time I ever played an Xbox. Was it? Do you remember demo stations? Remember when those were a thing in shops, in like games?
Yes.
And I played Halo on it. Like I had no concept of using a controller with 2 analog sticks, so like I was fucking.
It was
blown
alien
away.
fear. Yeah.
I was fucking blown away by how good it was, but also the controls were really strange, and I blew him up. I was playing with a friend, and I blew him up with a grenade because I was just pushing.
Well, the controllers was also huge at the same time.
I wasn't that bothered by it. I mean, it was. I'm not going to deny it wasn't. It was fucking massive, but I was never really that bothered by it.
And it had some weird button placement.
You got to remember though. Yes, but what you got to remember is the generation before Xbox and PS2. Like that, around that time was the N64 and the Dreamcast. Now those controllers were fucking weird, man. Like,
oh yeah.
If you wrapped your hands around those controllers, you could wrap your hands around anything.
You're not wrong there. Like
why did the N64? It had 3 things. Like, who was it made for?
Yeah.
we
I
have
honestly don't think
we
they
have 2
are.
hands, but it had 3 things.
And it had its analog stick right in the middle.
So you were holding it like this, and it was like, what the fuck?
Like, deformed your right hand. Trying to press the triggers.
That's how I felt using the PlayStation controllers until they made them wider and separated the analog sticks a bit. I always felt like they were too close.
Yeah.
They're not now. It's great. I love my DualSense. It's game of the year, as I said on Twitter.
Yes, you did say it. DualSense is game of the year, no doubt about it.
Probably talk more about that in our next fashionably late reviews.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, which you can find on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell button. Keep up to date with all the content.
Wow. But he's just saying we're proper YouTuber. What the fuck? Don't forget to smash that like button. No, I mean literally, like if you want to subscribe to our channel, you have to smash it.
Yeah, you have to do. And also go and check out the latest Moody versus Amy's on Among Us. It's arguably one of the best videos. I think Amy, you are getting so good with the editing. Like your highlights, like you can just see the transition of just how good you are getting, just with the little jokes you throw in with it, the music you throw in with it, and everything. It just works so good.
I mean, thank you.
I helped like crazy for my craziness on the stream.
You gave me so much to work with, and you were a good sport.
Meanable content. It was
you were
brilliant.
a good sport about the whole thing, but like I had like after the second, because it's like 3 weeks, so it's like a 3-parter, and after the second week, I had a vision of it.
Yeah,
I had the vision of and the vision is what the video looks like. I just didn't know how it ended. Yeah, and that's why it took so long to put together, because I was like, how does this end? Yeah. Because like
I loved the end, and I thought it was so good.
Would you believe? Right.
Go on.
So you've seen it. You've seen the music. I'm not going to spoil the music choices in that video. Would you believe I only got one content ID strike, and it was for the parody song at the beginning from a TV show by a fake band.
Oh God, seriously?
Yeah, that was the one I got. I was expecting one for the last song. I didn't get one.
Oh, well, I was expecting one for the middle song.
Game music, you can get away with it a lot because people put Let's Plays up and the music plays on those. So sometimes you can get away with a lot with game music. Beautiful.
It was fantastic.
But
it's time to now talk about news. Ian.
It is. In this week's episode, we discuss PlayStation and Xbox's upcoming games, the PS5 shortage, Ubisoft's future gaming strategy, and more. I don't know why I'm holding the microphone. Like, I think it's a thing I used to do. I used to do it when it was right in front of me. Like, I'd hold the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it now, but it's like really awkward because it's slightly to the side of me.
Yeah.
There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can skip around, you can watch bits that you want to watch, you can leave and come back knowing that your place will be safe forever in the description. But you also get them on the audio podcasts, which you can get on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and a bunch of other ones I've never heard of. Search words about games. You'll probably find it. That's the first time I've ever been able to do that without looking at the laptop. I remembered all the podcast platforms for the first time ever.
Yeah, high five yourself.
You can see me like, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? They're in the wrong order, like to what I've written down. But that's what happens. Let's get into it. Sony working on 25 games for PlayStation 5, half of which are new IP. This is from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer, who writes, speaking to Wired, Guerrilla co-founder Herman Hulst shared the numbers and said, quote, there's an incredible amount of variety originating from different regions in the pipeline, with a mixture of big, small, different games, end quote. There are, of course, several first-party games we already know about, including Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, Horizon, Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, and God of War Ragnarok. Yet that still leaves plenty of games unaccounted for. Uncharted, Last of Us remake. Maybe not so many as you think. The way the PlayStation Studios brand works, however, means that not all of these mystery games will necessarily be made by Sony-owned studios. Back when the brand was announced, Senior Vice President Eric Lempel told GamesIndustry.biz the PlayStation Studios brand, quote, doesn't mean that we outright own the developer, but it just means we brought it up as a first party. In a lot of cases, we don't own the developer, end quote. So as noted by The Verge, the number likely includes games from outside studios like Haven Studios and Empalab, which is making Kena Bridge of Spirits. Some of these games could be on a similar scale of Returnal, another title made under the PlayStation Studios brand by independent developer Housemarque. And it's fair to say, that one, nope, not reading that. So, it seems there are plenty of new games for the PS5 on the horizon, even if the jury's out on exactly what these will be.
Maybe we're getting games.
PlayStation 5 is getting games. I was thinking about this while I was playing Returnal the other day. PS5 technically has 2 exclusive games. Right? 2 exclusives. PS5 exclusive games. And they're both rock hard. Demon's Souls and Returnal.
Yeah.
Like, as I was thinking about that, just like, wow. It's a good job no one can get a PS5 except the hardest of hardcore, because the exclusive games for PS5 so far are the hardest of hardcore.
Well, excuse me, you are spot on there, no doubt about it. But we are finally. I think I know, like, what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Where it came out, like, we don't know, they're remaking games, and everyone's just like, oh god, why aren't you doing new things? And basically, this is with them coming out now. Half of the new games half of the 25 games are new IPs and everything. So you're getting what you want and everything, but we're also balancing it out with remakes, sequels, etc., which is not a surprise for me. They've got some of the arguably highest branded content when it comes to their games and for their package all the time. So like they've got the Uncharted, they've got The Last of Us, they've got Horizon, they've got Gran Turismo, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, and many more. So yeah, and to see that we're still going to get like 12 to 13 new IPs. You can't ask for much more for that, ladies and gentlemen. So that's fantastic to hear. Will we get all of them? That will be interesting if we do. But
games get cancelled without us knowing about what they are all the time.
Hell yeah.
Two things. One, I went searching for the article because I know we were talking about it. It was like they're just going to remake everything. No, I'm trying to find the specific quote because Jim Ryan said if you type Jim Ryan into Google and it does that thing where it's like trying to guess what the first thing that comes up is Jim Ryan Gran Turismo, which is obviously about his comments about old games. Let me try and remember the quote. It was talking about focusing on proven hits, I believe. Something along those lines, heavily paraphrased. Like, whatevs. Like, if PlayStation Studios is going to contract stuff out so that you get stuff like Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and Returnal, and Death Stranding, to be fair, was another similar sort of thing. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Games are games, right? I play the ones I like, and I avoid the ones I don't.
Exactly.
That sentence might be a running theme throughout a lot of this podcast. We'll see. But, yeah, no, it's fine. Like, I did have to go around the original Wired article to find something talking about the bits, the good bit, because you shared that Wired article in Messenger with the group. We have a little group chat for words about games, and that Wired article is something interesting. I'll put it that way. I think an actual PlayStation 5 might have written it.
An actual PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 5 might have written it. Like, the title wasn't the title like, oh, the PlayStation 5, the revolution is here, and then you read the article and it's like, the revolution is here because of all of these games that haven't come out yet. I don't think the revolution's quite here yet, Wired. Returnal's good, but it's one game, and then it goes on to talk about how great Horizon and Ratchet and God of War is, and I'm like, I mean, granted, all three of those games will probably be great. However...
Yeah. Is this a PlayStation 5 from the future?
Well, I mean, it's like, who else is going to write, like, a propaganda piece that good, right? Like, it's just like, everything about the PS5 is amazing. Like, you got to figure a PlayStation 5 itself actually wrote that article.
Probably did.
And my favorite part, and I have to do this because I highlighted it in the Messenger, in the group chat, is the part where they're bragging about how, like, I think it was like 81, like, people are playing the PS5 like 81% more than people who were playing PS4 in the same, like, launch window period.
Yeah.
And they were saying all this stuff about, there's more people gaming, it's COVID-19, people staying at home, and it's just like, no, it's because it's backwards compatible, Jim. I don't have to switch to my PS4 to play Nier Replicant, Jim.
That's true.
Which I had to do when I got my PS4 if I wanted to play an old-gen game, Jim. So maybe don't talk so much shit about backwards compatibility, Jim.
He's going to talk shit. We know he is.
Yeah, I know, and I'm going to call it out for you. I can call it out as hypocrisy now.
Yeah.
Because of this. Which is nice. It's nice to have options, really. That's what I'm saying.
So the question, for whenever we get the PlayStation event, which is probably going to be after E3, how much life is he going to suck out of it and enjoyment is he going to suck out of it?
Yes.
I said how much?
Yes.
You're just saying yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, he will.
He will certainly do that.
Hopefully they'll just do what they did with the reveal event and just have him at the beginning and then have him at the end and just leave the rest of him out of it.
Just like 90 seconds. I feel like then I've reached my tolerance.
Yeah, 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, overall or
overall? Overall.
Yeah, he's gonna suck out a lot of life of you, then, ain't he?
Oh, I mean, he does anyway. Like, I don't even need to see him speak on my computer screen. Like, I can just read articles, and I feel myself aging as I'm reading them.
Let's talk about
No,
a
no,
console.
because otherwise people are gonna call me a fanboy girl. So hold on, fanboy girl. That's the thing. So hold on, because what I want to say is those 25 games are all gonna be really good, and I'm really looking forward to them.
If all of them come out.
Well, I mean, there's gonna be at some point there's gonna be 25 first-party games that come out on
That's
PS5,
true.
regardless of whether it's these 25
Yeah.
or not.
That'll be when they're about to reboot it, make for PlayStation 6.
I know. Kena Bridge of Spirits is like top 10 most anticipated game of the year. So
that
you know,
looks really good. I can't wait. I'm going to be getting that on Epic, and I can't wait. I think
I'm
it
so
looks
looking
so
forward
good.
to it. Like, I would pre-order it on PlayStation, but I have a sneaking suspicion it might be a PS Plus game, so I'm holding my fire.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
Maybe.
That I'll be very surprised. It's
Yeah,
August, I believe, isn't it, when it comes out?
sure, why not? I don't look further than because now we've got friendly. No, now we've got fashionably late reviews. I'm getting all of my video titles mixed up. I don't look more than 2 weeks into the future. As far as like video game releases come, unless we're talking about it on this podcast. Anyway, speaking of the future, Xbox claims it's working on an unannounced new IP that will blow your mind. That's what it says. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGC, who writes, Xbox Game Studios is currently working on exciting, unannounced titles, according to Xbox Head of Game Services Marketing, Ben Decker. The executive teased the upcoming content in a Games Radar interview focused on research the company has conducted into Xbox Game Pass, which has attracted over 18 million subscribers. I just needed to breathe there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I need to tie my hair back, but I need to take my headphones off. So, you know, we'll power through for now. The service offers access to a library of over 100 games, including all Xbox Game Studios titles at launch. And a survey of 1,400 consumers found that 55% of subscribers joined primarily to get new games at release. Quote, that's why we made the investments that we have. We have 23 studios across Xbox and Bethesda working on Halo, Forza, Fallout, and new IP that we haven't even talked about yet that's going to blow your mind. We can deliver all of that into Game Pass on day one. End quote. Xbox boss Phil Spencer said in March that delivering exclusive games for platforms that support Xbox Game Pass was the primary reason Microsoft purchased Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax in a $7.5 billion deal. Xbox Game Pass subscribers spend 20% more overall than non-subscribers, Microsoft's gaming ecosystem boss claimed in March. Sarah Bond also said subscribers spend on average 20% more time playing games, play 30% more games, and play 40% more genres. May's new Xbox Game Pass titles include Dragon Quest Builders 2, FIFA 21, Outlast 2, Steep, Final Fantasy X and 10-2 HD Remaster, Just Cause 4 Reloaded, Psychonauts, Red Dead Online, and Remnant from the Ashes. And then I added a note because I got an email like an hour ago, give or take. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance is launching in Game Pass on day one, and on PC, consoles, and xCloud, and it has crossplay. Moody, say words about Xbox while I sort my hair out.
Well, it's about goddamn time, I won't lie, if they bring in a new IP that will blow our minds, ladies and gentlemen, because, no offense, I don't think really there's not been many of their exclusives or new IPs that have really blown me away. I'm not the biggest Halo guy, I'm not the biggest Gears guy. It's been a very mixed bag overall, I think. So if they have finally got something that's going to do this, that's fantastic. But either way, they're still being absolutely incredibly customer friendly for everybody with the Game Pass. They're still the best thing out there in gaming. And with the Bethesda games and everything thrown under it, you're just getting nothing but a great quality product from them. So it's really, 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 really good to see this. It'd be interesting to see if we see something from this in June. Hey, she's back. I'll repeat what I said.
No, I heard you.
Okay. Yeah. So, do you think we'll see something from it about June, or do you think because this?
About
If
what?
you think
About what?
about that we might see this brand new, blown away, blow our mind IP.
Oh God, no idea. I don't see why. Right now,
No.
there's a lot that they need to talk about, like
Yeah.
ahead of that, right? Like
Yeah.
Perfect Dark, Fable, Avowed, Starfield.
It all
Not
depends
Death-
how far
not
they're all
Deathloop.
in their timelines. Basically.
Yeah,
Which
but like
game is the
it's-
furthest ahead?
it's the thing. Yeah, it's the things that they've announced, right? Like I would think they would
Yeah.
get precedent over. Like they don't need to talk about the unannounced thing. Like Xbox are in a position they haven't been in for a long time, which is they don't necessarily need to talk about everything they're working on because they've got a
Yeah.
lot and they've got a lot
Yeah.
announced.
They really do, which is great to see as well.
Like
I like June. I think June is going to be, like I said to a friend of ours personally, behind the scenes to them. I think this E3 is going to be for a lot about. It's going to be a lot about what's coming this fall. And
it always is.
So, yeah.
Well, what's supposed to be coming this fall? Really, what E3 is all about is what's coming next year. They just don't know it yet.
Oh.
I think this E3 or next E3, I've said it loads of times over the past, 5 months. And I'll keep saying it until either this June or next June. I think that this E3 or next E3 is going to be the big one for Microsoft, where we all walk away and go, holy shit, that was amazing. Look at all those games.
He did say that. He did say that.
They just got so much in the pipeline.
You fucking hope they do.
Even if you were the biggest cynic in the world and you thought all of their games were going to be shit, you are not the biggest cynic in the world. And you thought all of their games were going to be terrible. Like, they've still got a lot to talk about. Like, even that's just the things that we know about.
Oh, I think they always have at least good E3 conference pretty much the last few years.
Yeah,
I think it's always been pretty good because they balance it out really well of that they have games for everybody. And I think if you do that, you're spreading it out in a really great way.
Yeah, there's good, which is where Microsoft generally tends to land. And then there's PlayStation E3 2016.
And 2017.
And 2017. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I think Xbox is going to
That's
land.
what I think everyone wants to see. I know we had 2 years ago in 2019, we had the breathtaking moment with Keanu Reeves and everything, but that was just because it's Keanu flipping Reeves.
I mean, you'll always get moments. I mean, there was the moment with on Ubisoft's thing with Beyond Good and Evil when they had the microphones left on and the developers be like, we did it. You know, that was awesome. That press conference wasn't awesome, though.
Now we gotta make the game.
We did it. If they'd left the microphones on a little bit longer, you would have heard us. We fooled them. They think Beyond Good and Evil 2 exists.
Yes. Now our stocks will go up, ladies and gentlemen.
But
Yay.
no, like, I put these two stories back to back because I really just wanted to highlight that, like, there's so much good coming in the future of video games. Like,
yeah.
There's so much coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
that's
fucking
exciting.
great.
Yeah, that's exciting as hell. You've got old games getting remade. You've got new IPs coming. You've got a well-ass balanced out of there with still like I said when you were doing your hair, that with a great product in Game Pass, it's gonna be all there, man. It's gonna be fantastic.
Oh, I'm so glad Game Pass exists. Like, to not have to think, oh shit, where am I going to get all these Xbox games from? I know where I'm going to get all these Xbox games from. I just download them.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just gonna raise my seat up.
Yeah, that's fine. Like the thing with Dark Alliance. Like, I was thinking, like, how am I going to get people to play Dark Alliance with me? Because I'm not going to be able to get people to buy it. But I don't need to, because they just download it on Game Pass, and it's great. Like, because now I can play Dark Alliance with people, whereas I probably would have had to play it by myself. And now I can get Chumps Like Moody to play it with me. Welcome back.
Oh, that's better.
and I will
My
never
knees might
tell him what I
survive
said. Shh,
My knees are hurting.
everybody, shh! Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Back to Sony, yeah.
Yeah, that's why, because I had the Sony things like as a thing, and then I was like, I want to put these two together to make that point.
I was very surprised with the order of what you put. I was thinking number one would have been number one, but it's good that you change it up all the time. So
look, right, like we've shat on Sony for so long that I'm throwing them a bone. They'll disappoint me again sometime in the near future. So I just thought I'd throw them a bone.
Like how she says, I'm throwing them a bone.
I'm
throwing a multi-billion-dollar company a bone.
They're working on a lot of good games, and I'm gonna celebrate that fact for a second before, they turn around and say we're making our games $100 or some bullshit that they're gonna try and do. Anyway, limited PS5 stock could continue into 2022, says Sony. This is from Liana Ruppert over at Game Informer. He writes, the PlayStation 5 has broken the world record for US console sales since its release, but that doesn't mean everyone who has been interested has gotten one. With low stock and scalpers always at the ready, the journey into next gen has been a rough one for many. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to change, because Sony warns that the PS5 stock issues could very well extend into next year. Sony Group Corp recently gave a heads up to an analyst group that the PlayStation 5 shortage is expected to be a reality leading into 2022. The company also mentioned that this supply issue has provided a stress point for sales targets, despite the recent numbers boasting impressive feats for the gaming brand. Quote, I don't think demand is calming down this year, and even if we secure a lot more devices and produce many more units of the PlayStation 5 next year, our supply won't be able to catch up with demand, Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki said, what a great name, in a statement received by Bloomberg. He continued, telling the analyst group that Sony is in need of a serious ramp-up in production when that is possible. There were reports of a new PS5 model in the works to circumvent the supply issue, but we couldn't get verification of that here at Game Informer. While COVID-19 certainly played a part, Totoki did mention that the supply woes would have been immense regardless of the global pandemic. He also assuaged analyst concerns that Sony can't keep up with demand, especially with the economic impact of COVID, and responded that, quote, he can't imagine demand dropping easily, end quote. Bah, no PS5s for anybody. The more I see the reality, as far as like PS5 stock goes, the more I am so happy I spent half a day making sure I got one on launch.
I can understand that, no doubt about it. This isn't a surprise. Like I told you this off streamer offline before, but I went into a game a few weeks ago and I asked anything, and they say we don't get told until basically the day before by Sony, and we don't expect to have anything in store until later this year. That's what they said, and I was like, wow. So this is not a surprise by me whatsoever. It's the Wii all over again. That's basically what it is. The Wii was out of stock constantly for at least a good year or two, for 2 Christmases, I believe it was, and like
it was
people
constrained
kept
for
talking
a while.
about it. What?
It was constrained for a while.
Yeah, and
part
people
of that was
kept
just
wanting
Nintendo.
it all the time and everything. So it was, and it's the same thing about this. I know there's other reasons why this is short of stock. We all know this. Scalpers, limited chips to be able to make them and everything.
This is one thing, and I don't know what the situation is like in other countries, but I do know what the situation is like in the UK. And, like, some retailers aren't helping the situation whatsoever. There's a specific retailer. I'm not going to name any names, but I see them trend on Twitter when some mornings, right? Like maybe 3 or 4 times. And every time they're trending, I know exactly why they're trending. It's because they got some PS5s and they were selling them through their website. At like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, like, guess who got most of those? Because they do it without warning, so nobody knows that it's happening. Like, a few people are just lucky enough to be able to get that retailer's PS5s, and the scalpers are getting the rest because they've got bots for this stuff. So, like, there are certain retailers in the way that they're doing things that are just handing these things to scalpers.
They really
it
are,
pisses me off because
yeah, the retailers are not helping the situation one bloody bit.
no, not at all. Like, just make a sign up process. If you want a PS5, sign up on the website. We'll send you an email when we've got them, and you can pre-secure it. And then when it's available, we'll send you a link to buy it. No scalpers required. Whatever. I don't know. Scalpers will get them because they can still sign up.
Yeah.
But like, it gives people a chance to get them too.
Yeah.
And yes, I did
No
mean
doubt
to
about
imply that scalpers aren't people.
it. No, you're not wrong there.
It pisses me off because people who want a PlayStation 5 can't get one.
Mm-hmm.
And I want more people to get PlayStation 5s. I need people to talk to about Returnal. Like, Ratchet's coming out soon. I'm going to talk about Ratchet. No one. Because neither motherfucker's got one. I'm like the only person in our friend group who has a PlayStation 5.
You are. I think basically you are. So yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, it sucks. It really does. Hopefully this does get rectified sooner rather than later. The world is starting to open up a little bit more, so hopefully maybe the chips are going to get made faster, maybe type of thing. So maybe there'll be more PlayStations made and everything. We'll see what happens and everything. But
It's a double. It's compounded by the pandemic slowing everything down, but also everyone uses the same freaking semiconductor. So everyone's trying to order them. So it's like, great. Like, that's why this whole thing is going to continue into 2022 because Nintendo's talking about it. Like, they're going to start. The Switch is going to start having shortages because they can't get a hold of as many semiconductors. I think Samsung phones use the same thing. And it's like, cool, well, they're going to want to try and get some because they need to make more phones. And it's just like everyone's trying to get the same thing. It's like the trying to get a PS5 on a much bigger scale.
yeah. And like a couple of those companies have began ready to make up their new models for their product. Like obviously the rumors of the next for an updated Pro Switch or something like that, and obviously Samsung they'll be getting ready to bring out their next new model, their extra SLJW XL large.
When I get when I get a new phone, I get like the oldest possible model I can, because I'm not bothered about having the newest phone. So like I go on the contracts of the and I go, what's the oldest Samsung phone I can get? That one, cool. It's like 20 quid a month. That'll do. Mint. And it's still better than what I had. So
that's true.
Fun story. I didn't realize that I got this phone a while ago, like a couple of months. It was only today that I realized it came with a screen protector on it.
Did you not?
Just peeled it off today. I was like, that's weird. I've got like bubbling on my screen, like there's something stuck to it. And then I like peeled, like, you know, like chipped away at it. And then I was like, wait. And then I pulled it off and I was like, oh my God, how long's that been on there? This explains why the fingerprint scanner hasn't been working properly.
That's how the Force works.
Speaking of things not working properly, Ubisoft. So yeah, that's the whole segue. Should I read the rest of the headline? Should we just leave it there?
You probably could, I won't lie.
Ubisoft prioritizes free-to-play development but isn't abandoning big-budget launches. I almost had launches there. Oh, big-budget launch would be nice right about now. Just a lot of great, like, food. This is from ONS Code over at Polygon. He writes, Ubisoft's top leadership says the company is prioritizing persistent free-to-play adaptations of the video game franchises and licenses the company develops, even as its subsidiaries build standalone releases to meet blockbuster expectations in the February, fall, or holiday release windows. That's the advice Frederic Duguay, Ubisoft's chief financial officer, gave to investors on Tuesday alongside the company's earnings report for the fiscal year it just completed. Ubisoft quickly supplemented these statements with others saying the company is not abandoning a product roadmap that includes tentpole titles like Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine, but Duguay did say that the traditional calendar of 3 or 4 AAA caliber video games is no longer a proper indication of our value creation dynamics. Duguay's comments follow last week's announcement of Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland, a free-to-play chapter of the looter-shooter franchise Ubisoft launched in 2016. That game, expected later this year or in 2022, appears to match Epic Games and Activision's programming strategy with Fortnite and Call of Duty. But Ubisoft still has a lot of announced games to move onto store shelves in the meantime. That includes Skull and Bones. Remember Skull and Bones? The open-world pirate adventure that Ubisoft announced at E3 2017, arriving between April 1st, 2022 and March 31st, 2023. It will be joined by Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and the mountain bike racing title Riders Republic in the company's 2022 to 2023 fiscal year. Those 3 games were announced in 2019 and 2020, then pushed into the future due to the pandemic-related development delays. Ubisoft's earnings report on Tuesday also mentioned, but did not include, a specific launch date for the Star Wars game being built by Massive Entertainment, the studio in charge of The Division. That title was mentioned only as an aside comment referencing significant portfolio expansion to come, as well as the long-awaited Beyond Good and Evil sequel, also confirmed with an E3 2017 splash. Where do you want to start? Can I just quickly point out that Ubisoft just very, very, very casually delayed every game it had announced?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Start with the main thing, prioritizing free-to-play game development. This isn't a surprise, really. They're an incredibly profitable company, but when you see EA throw out a FIFA game and only get profits from it from the base game for around 20 to 30%, and the rest of profits is through microtransactions and whatever the hell they get with Apex. I can only imagine what they get with Apex, and obviously what Epic get with Fortnite and everything. This isn't a surprise, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever. I'm amazed they actually haven't done this earlier.
I'm not. Because it's not going to work. I'm just going to throw it right out there. Remember Hyperscape?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that doing right now, do you reckon? Like, there's a finite amount of time people have. It's not about money. If all games were free, that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Communist dream. But there's a finite amount of time people have to sink into these things. And there's a paradox here where if every big AAA company goes for this, right? Really fucking goes hell for leather into this kind of business model, a lot of these games are going to fail because people don't have time to juggle too many of these games. Even the hardest of hardcore gamers, capital G gamers, you like rinse a live service game in 2 days and then complain that there's no content. Like, people just run out of time. And I think they'll have hits, for sure. Everyone will. But if they're planning on, like, releasing a lot of free-to-play microtransaction games, I don't know if that's a sound strategy. Like, I remember, like, I read a lot about this. Because when this was initially reported, this was reported as Ubisoft is only going to do this kind of game. And I was like, holy shit, that's a terrible idea. So I read a lot about this, and like even their investors, who Duguay was talking to, seemed pretty nervous about this.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, well, I mean, but I am surprised they haven't done this earlier.
I'm surprised they haven't released more free to play, monetized up the arse games. I mean, fucking Assassin's Creed is monetized up the arse.
Yeah, sorry. Ubisoft are very slow though when it comes to getting on top of the big thing.
I'd say they're ahead of the curve in this regard. I mean,
if it works,
free to play income, revenue, profit, like the amount of money that studios earn from releasing a game for free and then charging for whatever, microtransactions, loot boxes, battle passes, whatever ends up being charged for, like that number is going up. And a lot of AAA studios are only just starting to now get in on it. Like, Warzone only came out last year. Before that, Call of Duty was only a $10, $60 yearly release. But now it's both. And that's why Ubisoft's gone with this. But they're going with this. They seem to be going all in on it, right? Like, there'll be an Assassin's Creed, whatever.
Free game, yeah.
And then there'll be like the tentpole release.
Yeah.
And there'll be a free-to-play, whatever the fuck that looks like. Like, I don't know. I don't even care to speculate because that, like, Assassin's Creed barely interests me now. Like, I can't imagine what a free-to-play version of Assassin's Creed with, like, even more monetization options would look like, but I know it's something I don't want.
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating, there's no doubt about it. It's, like, they've got... Now I look back on it, and I look back on everything, like, with the year they've had and everything like that. Like, I have no hype for really any of their games. Like, they, like,
Sorry.
like what's... I don't blame you whatsoever. It's not your fault that they've turned into arguably one of the worst companies out there. It's not your fault, is it?
Well,
or did you do something, Gamey? You did, didn't you? I knew it!
They were always one of the shittest companies out there. It's just we found out about it, right?
Yeah.
Like...
But however, come on, they are creating a Star Wars game, which will sell like crazy just because of how powerful that brand IP itself will. The EA freaking knew that, and everything. But like, and I guess until we see it, which probably won't see it for like 2 years, 3, maybe. There's no hype for that anymore. The hype's gone from that. Beyond Good and Evil, flipping heck. If we see that E3, I will laugh my ass off just to say, and they're gonna say, we filled them again, yay!
It doesn't exist. I'm confident it doesn't exist. It exists in the same place as Bloodborne 2 and Half-Life 3.
Yeah,
that's why you'll find Good and Evil.
You've got Far Cry 6, which we've said on many occasions when we talked about it last time. It's going to be Far Cry 5. It's going to be Far Cry 4. It's going to be Far Cry 3, which Far Cry 3 was arguably is the better one out of all of them. Well, and they've just kept that formula since then.
The funny thing about Far Cry 3, 4, and 5 is it's personal opinion which one's the best one, but I have a feeling whichever one of those 3 games you played first will be your favorite.
That is fair.
Because they're all the same game. We played Far Cry 3. Ergo, we think that one was the best one. But like, if someone only jumped in on Far Cry 4, they'll probably go, well, Far Cry 4 was the best one. Because there's a bloody game.
Yeah, it's like, that's what happens in all of them. So, yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do next. Like, there's a lot of unknowns with them right now. This year, even though they're going to make a ton of money, we know this. It could be seems like a quiet year at the same time. Like,
it is now.
Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Siege Quarantine, which they said they intend to get both of them out by September.
Not now. Not according to this. They did, and they were. It will be joined by Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Riders Republic in the company's 2022 to 2023 fiscal year, which is April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. They just seem to casually just delay everything. That's what I was saying at the top. Everything that we knew about that was coming, that was supposed to be coming in the near future.
I thought you didn't mean those two.
I thought
you meant everything else with those two.
It will be joined by Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six, and Riders Republic 6 in company's 2022 to 2023 fiscal year. It seems like it's been delayed again.
What?
It might just be a badly worded sentence.
I'm not sure if that's a badly worded thing, because I'm pretty sure they've said that 6 and F1 saying 6.
They say shit like they said, like, games
I know
companies,
that, and
games
I know
companies sometimes just fucking, I don't know whether they just have like a fucking dartboard and they like the calendar and they just throw a dart at it and go, that's when it's coming out then. It's coming out.
Yeah, it's even said those 3 games were announced in 2019 and 2020, but then pushed into.
Yeah, it's a badly worded sentence.
I think it's a badly worded sentence. I think Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six.
Well, let me check. I don't necessarily. This first website I've checked is. That's from last year. That's from last year. Hey, Google, just give me the. I shouldn't have said that. I've got a Google. That's right behind me.
Release date. They're now saying 2021. Far Cry 6 is set for release in February 18th, 2021.
That was 2 months ago, Moody. 3 months ago, Moody.
Yeah, 2021, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
So
let's move on, and we'll figure this shit out later because this is terrible podcasting.
They'll get over it.
Like,
No, yeah. Tech Radar. Far Cry 6 release date pushed back to sometime before April 2022.
It's not coming out this year. Nothing's coming out this year. I believe it.
Wow. So why do we want to watch them? Are we going to watch them at E3? I don't think we are we?
I didn't watch them last year.
Oh, did you not? I don't know. Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Didn't we do the thing? Didn't we watch the first one? Oh, we watched the PlayStation.
We watched
one
the PlayStation one.
Yeah. It's
but
my
as
bad.
soon as they came out and said we're not going to mention all of this stuff, I just went cool, and I'm not going to watch.
That's fair.
Not that I had any interest in any of the games that they were talking about anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they released 3 versions of the same game within 2 months of each other last year.
Do you want to talk about some companies getting annoyed by Epic and Apple
Do
releasing
you remember
documents?
Do you remember last week
You
on the
did say
podcast
that.
when I said, "Hey, I wonder how pissed off a bunch of companies are with Epic and Apple right now."
It
Sony,
seems like a lot of them.
Nintendo, Roblox, Spotify, and more request Epic versus Apple judge seal sensitive documents. This is a bit late. This is what is it? Closing the stable door after the horse is already bolted. But hey, what we're going to do. James Batchelor at GamesIndustry.biz writes, the judge overseeing the Epic versus Apple case has received several requests from game publishers and other companies to seal some of the information that is coming to light as part of the ongoing trial. In a court document seen by GamesIndustry.biz, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers responded to sealing requests from Sony, Nintendo, Roblox, PayPal, Spotify, and Samsung, as well as Epic and Apple. What? Did I just say Epic and Apple?
Yes. You did.
Epic and Apple. On the very first day of the trial, various documents connected to not only Epic and Apple, but also the companies they were partnered with became publicly available via an online hosting site that was to be used for evidence and other files as the trial continues. Through a combination of this leak and the trial itself, Epic's antitrust case against Apple has revealed new information about various companies, including Sony's conditions for allowing crossplay with PS4 games. The next day, Gonzalez Rogers said there was little point in resealing them since the media had already reported on facts, figures, and other revelations contained in these documents. She has now received formal requests, however, including some related to more recent testimonies from the trial. For example, Roblox and Sony both asked for certain figures from the written testimony of Lauren Hitt, an economist Apple called as a witness. The judge granted Roblox's request and partially granted Sony's, observing that some information had already been disclosed to the public. Gonzalez Rogers also denied Sony's requests to around 10 sensitive and confidential documents since they had already been leaked. Quote, the bell has already been rung, end quote, the judge wrote. Clearly the judge is a fan of Dark Souls. However, Sony may file a renewed request on or before May 14th, 2021 to seal or redact specific information that is yet to be disclosed. Nintendo was granted its request to seal several documents, but the court deferred on whether or not it will seal the file that lays out an agreement between Epic Games and the platform holder, as this is expected to be used in the trial. Gonzalez Rogers denied Nintendo's request to seal a deposition by Joe Craner, who heads up business development and third-party publishing at Epic Games. The request seems to be regarding certain information or terminology around Fortnite on Switch, but the judge reasoned that the terms at issue have already been discussed by several witnesses during the trial and, quote, impact gameplay mechanics within Fortnite that are readily apparent to anybody who has played the game itself, end quote. The judge did agree to seal sensitive and confidential documents highlighted by PayPal and Apple, given that the disclosure of this information would competitively harm those companies. She also wrote Spotify and Samsung. Both Epic and... I did it again. Both Apple and Epic requested for various documents already used in the first week of the trial to be sealed, but Gonzalez Rogers denied these. However, she issued deadlines for any sealing requests related to documents used in the second and third weeks of the trial.
I think this judge is having a lot of fun. Denied!
Well, it's like, why would you, like... It's there. It's in the media, guys. Like,
Yeah.
This is too late. It's all like so much of it is already out there now. So what's the point
Yeah.
in resealing the documents? It's like we already saw all of Sony's bullshit last week.
Yeah. He's like, there's two nobodies right now talking about this right now, and I have to deny this. So shut up, go away. It's already out there. Like, it's
What are they
already
going
out
to do?
there.
Sue us for reporting the news? Like, come on.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I'll say one thing. I'll take what I said back. I'll take what I said back last week. I was wrong. Sony obviously are not happy, and they did not know about this. I thought they would know about it though. So and they were just like, "There's nothing we can do. So what's what?" And everything. But no, I was wrong. I'll hold my hand up to that. But damn, everyone else is annoyed as well. The only one who isn't annoyed is like Microsoft, was like, "Hey, we got no skin."
Again, it's like I said on the podcast last week. Like Sony's all like everything that came out about Sony was like, they blocked crossplay and demanded money off of studios. They're getting sued for a monopoly. And the worst thing that came out of Microsoft again was, we don't make any money on our consoles, which everybody already knew. Like that was the worst thing that came out about Microsoft. Yeah. But I always knew Sony. Like any corporation that like has things that could negatively impact them released to the public will always be pissed off about it. And the fact that it's come out in a trial, because a lot of the information, like we probably either way would have learned about the lawsuit, the class action lawsuit against them via Monopoly, because that's pertinent to the case, and it would have been, I imagine, evidence that was discussed within the case itself. The thing about crossplay wouldn't have come out.
Yeah.
There's no way that would have been discussed.
They would not have wanted that to come out either. No. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sony and Epic's relationship is going to be after this. Because they had a good relationship, and they put the first thing that we saw that was on the PlayStation was an Unreal 5 reveal and everything, which looked absolutely brilliant. And if all developers are all excited to be using that new technology and everything, and Sony pumped money into Epic to fund this as well, and it was like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You're releasing all our secrets.
I mean, their relationship
we don't want idiots to know about.
Their relationship will be fine, because it has to be, because Fortnite is the biggest game on PlayStation, and Unreal Engine 5 is going to be the biggest engine for the biggest games. Yeah. So it has to be fine. They're not going to be happy.
Spitting a dummy out. There are going to be some spa dummies in their next conference call.
I imagine the next time Jim Ryan sees Tim Sweeney, he might just fucking punch him in the face. But it'll their professional relationship will be fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But the judge denied.
The bell has already been rung. I can just imagine her just sitting there looking at this this request from PlayStation, just being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?"
It's already out there, fools.
Why?
I've
What's
listened
the
to
point?
10 podcasts talking about it, and they all agreed that you're stupid.
You fucking idiots. This has been I sent you the meme. I hope about the trial. I hope both teams lose.
Yeah.
But this has been entertaining for me.
We knew it was going to be entertaining.
This has been entertaining. This is a fucking circus.
Do you want to continue talking about?
Speaking of circus, Epic Games reportedly offered Sony $200 million for PlayStation exclusives. This is from Vaspan Dastua over at The Gamer, who writes, "We've received tons of insider news thanks to the ongoing Epic versus Apple lawsuit." I didn't do it that time. I almost did. "A number of documents with otherwise unknown information have surfaced during the trial process, and this latest one may be one of the biggest. It seems that Epic Games was trying to secure PlayStation exclusives for the Epic Games Store." Excuse me. "As pointed out by PC Gamer, this latest document details a proposal that would see Sony's first-party games that are only available on PlayStation consoles eventually make their way to the Epic Games Store for PC. The document reads, quote, offer extended at $200 million MG Plus for 4 to 6 titles, end quote. There was no information on which titles would be part of the deal, but it's doubtful that Sony would agree upon its most recent games. If you had to take a guess, it would have probably involved some of the older PS4 exclusives. However, the next pointer says, quote, awaiting feedback, meaning that this conversation may not have even gone ahead. I doubt it did. Given that Horizon and Days Gone both are on Steam right now. Or one of them is. One of them will be next week.
I think Horizon's already on there.
Horizon's out and everything. Yeah, Days Gone is out next week and it's on Steam as well.
And be up.
Sony just wanted it out on everything. Like they're not like gonna. Ironically, they're probably not going to get in on this PC exclusivity stuff. They'll just put it wherever they want because they want as many people to play as possible.
Yeah, sure. So
just do Bloodborne, you cowards. Just do it. Put it on PC. Modders can put in an easy mode, and then people like Keith who really want to play it but can't can play it. Just do it. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
We'll see what happens there. This is not surprised that they made an offer. They were obviously that was their thing when they came out doing their own product thing to fight against Steam. Throw out the money to get the exclusivity and everything.
Yeah, so why not try, right?
Yeah, why not try?
They've probably
Sony,
done
how much money? 200 million.
Like I reckon, and I don't know if this is going to come out in the trial. They'll have done the same thing with Sega. Not Sega, yeah, since Nintendo was what I meant to say. Like they'll have gone to Nintendo. Hey, can we put some of our games on PC? Because why not? Because what if they say yes? You know what I mean? It's like the Wayne Gretzky quote: "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Oh yeah, you're right there. It is. It's not a surprise. I think you've got that Fortnite money, people. You keep forgetting that.
Money. They can do what they want and spend what they want. That's why they're embroiled in a trial to not have to pay Apple as much money to sell Fortnite. Let's talk about E3.
E3.
Square Enix, Bandai Namco, and Sega confirmed for this year's virtual E3. This is from Nathan Ingram over at Engadget, who writes, last month, the Entertainment Software Association announced its initial plans for this year's E3 virtual conference. I should actually mute that before I put it down on the desk and it starts vibrating like crazy against the wood. Unsurprisingly, Microsoft and Nintendo are participating along with major developers and publishers like Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, and Warner Brothers Games. A few big names were missing from that list, but today the ESA is filling things in. Square Enix, Bandai Namco, and Sega. I'm going to read this sentence out as it was written. Square Enix, Bandai Namco, and Sega will all participate in the virtual event. This is why I'm having so much trouble. This is why I'm having so much trouble with the fucking words tonight. This is awful. I'm a bollocks. Square Enix, Bandai Namco, and Sega will all participate in the virtual event. There, I fixed it for you, Engadget. While today's additions are major players in the industry, there are still a handful of big companies as yet unconfirmed for E3 this year. Chief among them are Sony and EA. Foreshadowing. But both haven't participated officially in E3 for years now. EA usually does its own EA Play show around the same time, and Sony hasn't participated in E3 since 2018, so it's not surprising to see them sit this one out. At this point, Activision is probably the biggest name missing from this list. The company made a big appearance in 2019, so it wouldn't be a surprise for them to join up this year. Wow, way to make the glass half full, Engadget. Like, hey, look, more big companies, but we'll talk about these ones that aren't showing up. Moody, let's talk about the ones that are showing up.
Yeah. Which ones are showing up again?
Everyone except Sony and EA.
So Square Enix, obviously, we're hoping that they have got a lot to show. Now, Bandai Namco, Sega, bring it on, man. That's all we want. Warner Brothers, Capcom, Take-Two,
Take-3,
Take-3, Take-5,
Take-5,
Take-6. It's great. Like E3, like we missed it last year after the debacle that was the Summer Games Fest.
It did turn into a bit of a debacle.
It did, sadly. Even their heart was in the right place.
The heart was in the right place.
It was in a hell of a place, and it just sadly didn't pay off. But to know that we now have a thing next month, we're going to watch it, and we're going to hang out and just play it.
If the Summer of Gaming had been like a month long, I think it would have hit a lot better. But they just stretched it out too far. And then like half the stuff was like, "Hey, look, we're gonna do this one thing."
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But I found it funny that a lot of discourse last summer was, "Oh, E3 is gonna be fucked next year when everybody realizes they can do this shit on their own." And now everyone's back because it's E3. Like, who seriously thought E3 was done for?
Well, I'd be surprised if I was one of the skepticals. I think last year, if we looked back on it on my part, to think it could be type of thing. Like they deep down don't need them, and we know this. They're big. All that have to. A
See,
lot of the companies are big enough to do this themselves and everything. But E3 does have, like, I'll go back to that. It's that high. It's the name.
E3 is a megaphone.
E3.
Like, metaphorically speaking, E3 is a megaphone. It's the one time of year everybody gets together, and even people like fucking Phil, who's like the most casual of casual gamers. And again, I always have to say this: I never use that as a pejorative. If you're a casual gamer, go fucking nuts. I love you. Even he knows about stuff that comes out of E3. But if like fucking, I don't know, Capcom or Ubisoft or Square Enix or anyone did their own thing at some other time of year, he's not gonna know about it because why would he? But E3 is an event. And that's why E3 works. And that's why we still have E3. Because it's this banner week, I guess. Like, where, like, you get everything coming out. And yeah, there's stuff throughout the rest of the year. But that's the time when the big shit gets announced.
Yeah, we hope so.
No, it always is. Like, if you go back to any year, yeah, you get Gamescom, Paris Games Week, the Game Awards, and some cool stuff gets announced there. But the biggest stuff is always comes out at E3.
I agree.
Or leaked
We hope so.
just before E3.
Yeah, that's what I say. More leaked than anything and everything. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited for E3. I think it's going to be a great thing. I think it's more just because you and me are going to like probably sit in Discord, chat, have popcorn or something, and hopefully see some great things to be revealed and everything. And this is the thing, we'll probably be there for whenever Sony do their thing as well. That's the thing about it. Sony, like I said at the beginning, I think they're going to do their... I think everyone's now expecting that they're probably going to be doing after E3, probably say end of June, if not sometime in July. And
well, they've got to delay Horizon Zero Dawn sometime, so...
Yeah, that's true, Amy. They have to delay that and everything. So we'll see what happens for that. Let's continue to talk about... let's continue to talk about E3.
E3... 2021. Sorry, I'm just seeing how much we've got left because I forgot. That's the lawsuit. E3 2021's online app will feature virtual booths, leaderboards, and more. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGC, who writes, "The Entertainment Software Association has detailed the E3 2021 online and portal and app. The show's organisers said they will serve as a key hub throughout the event, offering fans and media an interactive experience featuring virtual exhibitor booths, places to hang and chat with other users." Oh god, that sounds horrible. And have you seen Twitch chat during E3? I don't want to go anywhere near that.
They never look.
And gamified show elements. The online portal will open on June 7th for a media week, offering early access to show exhibitors ahead of public access from June 12th. Which is the first day of E3's live broadcast. The ESA said the public version of the portal and app will include exhibitor booths featuring special events, VOD content, and articles. Commas. Let me try that again. Exhibitor booths featuring special events, VOD content, and articles. Exhibitor booths will act as hubs within the portal for key announcements and game information tied to each exhibitor. Lounges. Online gathering spots for all E3 attendees. Forums, special boards for focused online discussion and sharing among attendees. Leaderboards, gamified show elements that can be collected and displayed, encouraging fans to interact in as many ways as possible. Profile creation, all attendees can create their own unique profiles within the portal and app, which can be customized. Registration for access to the online portal will be free and begin later this month. E3 2021 takes place from June 12th to 15th. The ESA said the live broadcast will feature major publisher showcases, press conferences, panels, and more. It will be hosted by Alex Golderboy Mendez, Jackie Jing, and Greg Miller, and feature interactive overlays powered by Hovercast, displaying viewer polls and featured social tweets. The live broadcast will also be viewable via Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
Hey.
I do not want to hang out with capital G gamers during E3. No, thank you.
Listen, we've already told you what our plans are. We're going to be in Discord and we're going to be chatting while watching it on Discord. That's it. Nothing more. I have no intention of this. I see why they're trying this. They want to try and make it exciting, obviously, people, because it's not a physical event for people and everything. So they're trying something. Good luck. I ain't touching this with anything.
I'll download the app because, like, to keep up with news, right? Like stuff, like
Twitter.
Yeah, but like, I can open an app and go to the Sega booth and be like, "Cool, let's see what's going on with Lost. Let me just check that Lost Judgment thing again." Like, again, if I'm looking for that shit on Twitter, I'm gonna have to wade through capital G gamers to get to it. I have to search for it, and then there'll be loads of them, and they'll be like, "Oh, SJWs have ruined this," or whatever they're usually saying, because they're the fucking worst.
Oh, children can be idiots.
Whereas, like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch it through that app. God no, I'm gonna watch it on Twitch, like I do every year, with chat hidden. Just gotta pretend that they're not there.
They are not part of this.
But I'm not gonna hang out in a lounge or hang out on a forum or whatever the fuck the leaderboards are. Like, nah, we make our own game. We predict things that are gonna happen in E3, and then whoever gets the most points wins. What do they win?
Wrong.
Nothing.
You win nothing.
But speaking of one of these companies that's not going to be there, EA Play digital event set for July 22nd. This is from Mike Minotti over at VentureBeat, who writes, "I'm choking.
Don't die, Amy. We need you for E3.
EA, I'm dead. Thanks, EA. EA Play event set for, yep, I read that part. Electronic Arts announced today that it will broadcast EA Play event.
You've already said that.
No, I haven't. Electronic Arts announced today that it will broadcast the EA Play event on July 22nd. This is essentially EA's E3 without E3 show. The publisher has long been doing its own separate thing from the big trade show in recent years. However, the result is the same. EA hosts an event where it announces games. This year it will take place a bit more than a month after E3, which is happening as a digital event from June 12th to June 15th. EA has some games like Dragon Age and Battlefield, which we might see. I think, before we talk about Electronic Arts, I'm gonna start emailing or like tweeting the editors-in-chief of these websites, and I'm gonna say, "Yo, give me a job proofreading your articles." I'm sick of fucking reading them on this podcast and finding so many grammatical errors. Like, come on, man. It's killing me. You're making me look like an idiot. You're making me look like I can't talk. It's not my fault.
I was a little bit surprised that they weren't going to be at least around it. Because last time they did an EA Play that was still around E3.
Yeah,
like, they even said E3 when they were talking about it. It's just like, you're not there, but you're talking about it, so what the hell are you? Type of thing.
The spirit of E3 lives on.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised that they've pushed it to July. Whatever, they're doing it what they want to do and everything, but
they've got stuff. They probably realized like Battlefield 6 needs a bit more time. Like the reveal probably needs a bit more time in the oven or something. Or
maybe, yeah.
Maybe they're actually just trying to figure out if Dragon Age exists yet.
Maybe they're making sure Battlefield 6 is factually accurate for people, those noisy bitches online. Even though the last one was still factually right, because women did fight in the war. Just so they know, ladies and gentlemen.
Why did you have to bring that up? I did so much work to forget that.
I'm sorry.
Controversy. That was the same, yeah. Oh god, now it's all coming back to me.
Oh, God.
Animal Crossing skin sliders and skin tone sliders and fucking Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to a dark place. The thing I always thought funny about EA Play not being around at E3 is like EA Play hasn't been great for a long time.
They haven't had a good show, I would say.
They haven't
last
had a
5
good
years.
show for a very long time. But because they're at E3, they're kind of shielded from some of that because it's a part of E3, right?
Hell
So,
yeah,
like,
you're right there.
for example, when A Way Out was announced at EA's whenever it was, like, I remember me and Keith really loved it. We were live streaming that show, and we really loved that announcement. And the rest of the show wasn't great, but that was just that bit, that one small part of the EA Play like presentation became a part of just E3 in general. So it was still something we remembered fondly as part of E3. Whereas them having this separate show, now EA Play has to stand on its own. And I mean, unless they fucking do something miraculous, it's probably not going to be great.
Yeah.
And it's going to be remembered as not great.
Yeah.
Rather than, it'll be remembered, it'll still, like, if it was at E3, it'd still be remembered as not great, but any of the good bits would still be associated with E3. So I think the vision of that would be lessened.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Because if you think about it, they're only big titles that we know they're going to show the sports games, which no one's going to be interested in, apart from the casuals, really, and the EA sports players. But when it comes to the only real games that are people that are really interested in are Dragon Age and Battlefield 6. And we don't really know when Dragon Age is going to be. Battlefield 6, we believe it's this year.
Sorry.
What?
Mass Effect. I'm going to get angry Mass Effect fans in my mentions if he does say people are looking forward to the next Mass Effect mood.
Yeah, but they are going to be showing that for next.
Right.
Next
but
July.
You forgot it. And I don't want people yelling at me because you forgot it. So I'm interjecting to add Mass Effect.
I'll say this right now.
Oh
Mass
my God.
Effect
This
is
didn't have...
trilogy.
You know what? There's a button here. I'm just going to push. I did push it. Yes, I did.
Hey.
It was meant to be a 5-second interjection where I said 2 words, not a fucking rant. So I muted
me
you.
as well.
So I muted you.
Oh my God.
Because I don't want to talk about it, okay? Mass Effect is a game people are looking forward to. People get mad if I don't mention it. It's a thing, okay? Everyone seems to be mad that Battlefield 6 hasn't been shown off yet. Now you're just being salty. Come on. Alright, fine. I hope they reveal Titanfall 3, personally. Given that it's the best game EA has ever made. From the best franchise from EA's history. Nothing to say about that? No rebuttal? No? Should we move on to speculating about Dragon Age being a live service online game? No? Nothing to say about that either? Cool, I got the whole podcast to myself. I could do and say whatever I want. So let's move on. Nintendo-style Wholesome Direct promises a chill time. This is from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon, who writes, more than 75 indie games will be highlighted during the Wholesome Direct, a Nintendo-style event in which new titles will be revealed and exclusive footage will be shown off. Several games will launch during the show, too. Wholesome Games, a collective of game enthusiasts that highlight the chill genre, said on Twitter. The event has been organised in part with online games festival Guerrilla Collective. The Wholesome Direct will be held as part of the second annual event. The Guerrilla Collective 2021 will be held over 2 Saturdays in June, with the Wholesome Direct scheduled for Saturday, June 12th. Wholesome Direct will feature announcements from some of 2021's most anticipated indie games and updates. That's a weird sentence. Making the band-style interactive series We Are OFK, chill fishing simulator Moonglobe Bay, and colourful farming game Ooblets. In Wednesday's tweet, Wholesome Games said more information is coming about puzzle game Unpacking a Life, Gecko game The Gecko Gods, and highly anticipated life sim Paralives. Wholesome Direct was fun last year. I think it was something we all needed. Based on the timing of it, when it came out. Because it was like, pandemic, lockdown. And I think you put it best last year when you said it felt like a hug. Like a virtual hug.
Yeah, it was. It was a good little thing that happened last year that I really enjoyed. I still remember some of their cute little, just wholesome games that we're still waiting for some to come out this year and everything. So I can't wait to see what they have to show and everything. So
I
it'll
talked
be
about one of
hopefully
them
nice.
on my Lake was a Wholesome Direct game, I think. See, this is the other problem with the summer of gaming. There was so many different shows and so many different game reveals. I can't sort them out properly in my own head. I think Lake was one of them, which is a demo I played and talked about on the what used to be called the weekly review. Drive around and deliver mail.
It was.
Chill games are great. Moody, would you like to laugh?
I can always do with a good laugh.
Then here's a headline for you. Google says Stadia is alive and well. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, Google Stadia has been grabbing headlines in 2021, but perhaps not quite in the way the internet giant would like. First, the company closed its internal development studio, Stadia Games and Entertainment, less than 2 years after service launched, seemingly putting an end to the hope of ever seeing first-party titles that truly demonstrate the full power of the cloud gaming service. In doing so, Google lost key talent like former EA and Ubisoft producer Jade Raymond, who has since received investment from PlayStation for her new venture, Haven Studios. All went quiet until earlier this month when Stadia's head of product, John Justice, resigned, and 6 members of staff went to join Raymond at Haven. Given the mixed reception at launch, previous complaints around a lack of updates about the service, and even the fact that various witnesses in the ongoing Epic vs. Apple trial, I can't get away from it, can't seem to figure out whether Stadia is even still operating, it's all too easy to imagine the cloud gaming service's days might be numbered. But developer marketing lead Nate Ahern tells GamesIndustry.biz the project is, quote, alive and well, end quote. Quote, we're well on our way to over 100 new games launching on Stadia in 2021, and we're continuing to make Stadia a great place to play games on devices you already own. I'd tell any non-believers to take notice of how we're continuing to put our words into action as we grow the Stadia Makers program and partner with AAA studios like Capcom, EA, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and others, end quote. When pressed for information, Ahern said Google was focused on delivering value for our partners and on behalf of our players. He pointed to the release of newer titles on the platform, such as last week's Resident Evil Village, the introduction of AAA hits like Resident Evil 7 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to the Stadia Pro subscription, and the ongoing addition of new features. The company recently revealed Stadia will soon include a search bar. It doesn't have a search bar. It's
better late than never, I guess.
it's Google Stadia and it doesn't have a search bar. Oh my god. I'm done.
I think he's done.
It's Google Stadia and it doesn't have a search.
Google, you're built on your search bar.
You're a fucking search engine. How could you not have a search bar? No. This is the worst fucking product ever. What the fuck? Who made the decisions? Fuck.
I think Amy's broke, ladies and gentlemen. Amy is broke. We got an Amy down. Amy down.
What is this bullshit? Oh my God.
Someone call a doctor.
Google, what are you doing? Every decision you've ever made about Google Stadia has been ridiculous.
It has been, sadly, hasn't it? I honestly don't know what
speechless,
to say.
Right? You're just speechless, right? They're still insisting this thing's alive.
Yeah.
Like, sure, new games are coming out on it, but, like, okay. But, like, what else are you going to do with it? Like, oh, God. Maybe it'll have a search bar.
I don't know.
I shouldn't have laughed. I couldn't help it. I shouldn't have laughed so much the last time I said things about Google Stadia, I got like my most disliked video ever. And all I did was point out, hey, this isn't that great.
Yeah.
How dare I? They said.
Let's talk about something I think you were really excited
How
for.
dare I? Lost Judgment officially announced worldwide release this September. This is from Matt TM Kim over at IGN, who writes, Sega and Ryuga Gotoku Studio has officially announced the Lost Judgment. Oh, fuck me. Google's killed me. Google's killed me off. I don't know if I can do the rest of this podcast. Someone trying to break into your house through the window. Oh, you can't hear me. Is someone trying to break in?
I heard you.
Someone trying to break into your house? I hope not.
You're an idiot, that's all.
Okay. Get off his lawn, you kids. There you go. Sort them out. I'll sort them out. Just lean your monitor out of the window, and I'll start shouting at them. I'm gonna try this sentence again.
Go on.
I blame Google for me not being able to focus properly. Sega and Ryuga Gotoku Studio, almost lost it, has officially announced Lost Judgment during today's Judgment Day live stream event. I did it.
Yay.
Lost Judgment is a direct sequel to RGG Studios' 2018 action mystery game starring lawyer-turned-private eye Takayuki Yagami. During a live stream event, Judgment and Yakuza creator Toshihiro Nagoshi and producer Kazuki Hosokawa, the developers of the Yakuza franchise, revealed their next game, Lost Judgment. Once again, lawyer and detective Takayuki Yagami, along with ex-Yakuza partner Masahiro Kaito, investigate a seemingly impossible crime where the prime suspect in a murder has an alibi. My God, I'm so happy I put this news story in with all these Japanese names. They're so easy to read. A trailer revealing Lost Judgment begins with a man standing trial for a groping incident on a train. The court finds the man guilty and sentences him to 6 months in prison. Once the verdict is handed down, however, the man reveals the existence of a corpse in Tokyo. And though he is the prime suspect, the corpse's death is at the same time as when the suspect was caught on camera for the crime he was just convicted for. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to be partially set in Yokohama, which was the place from Yakuza Like a Dragon. Lost Judgment will be released worldwide on September 24th, 2021 for both new-gen and last-gen systems. This means it will be available on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. Unfortunately, no PC version has been announced. There will be dual audio options at launch as well. Come on, Matt. So you can switch between either the Japanese or English tracks. There's even Sega's dual script option available, so players can choose between the English script or a more localized subtitle translation that matches the Japanese dub. IGM is able to speak with producers Nagoshi and Hosokawa as part of the event as well, and learned that Yakuza is now a turn-based RPG series following the success of Yakuza Like a Dragon, but the classic action game style RGG has mastered will live on through Judgment, which I said like fucking last year.
I am happy for you, Amy. I have no affiliation for this game.
I don't blame you. It's not for everyone. Like, Judgment was a great game, and it obviously did well. I think they were surprised by how well Judgment did, given that it was a brand new IP. Is everything okay?
I am listening. Yeah, I am listening.
Okay. Do you don't need to stop, right?
No, go on.
Okay.
No, honestly, fine.
The look on your face is saying something different. Yeah, it was a brand new IP, even though it had ties to the Yakuza series, because it was a spin-off, so it was like the same gameplay as Yakuza, just a very different characters, different tone, different setting. Same setting, actually, but you can get what I mean. Like, different... You were doing different stuff in it because you're a private investigator instead of a member of the Yakuza. And it was great. I loved it. Like, I always figured I'd love the Yakuza games, but, like, by the time I, like, was able to start getting into them, it was, like, the 6th one was out. And it was like, I mean, that's a lot of games to go through to get into it. So, like, Judgment's existence was good for me because it was like, here's a jumping on point. And I took that jumping on point.
You did?
And I jumped right on. I will say that the original Judgment has like one of the best credit scenes in game history.
Was that?
Oh yeah, big style. But no, I'm glad. I'm happy Yakuza Like a Dragon was obviously a success. And I enjoyed that new gameplay style of that game. So I look forward to playing whatever's next in that series too. But super happy that Lost Judgment is a thing. Even happier that it's coming out this year. I did not expect that. Like, I expected an announcement. Did not expect it to be coming out so soon.
Yeah, that's true.
So, excellent. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's talk about Film Festival. Here are the games nominated for the first Tribeca Games Award. This is from Anna Diaz over at Polygon, who writes, the Tribeca Film Festival announced its official selections for the inaugural Tribeca Games Award on Thursday. The lineup includes a handful of anticipated games and a few lesser-known ones as well. Sable, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Harold Halibut, Lost in Random, Norcore, Signalis, The Big Con, and 12 Minutes. The festival, which is slated for June 9th, 20th, 2021 in New York City, marks a decade since Rockstar Games' LA Noir became the first video game ever to be honoured as an official selection at the 2011 festival. Now these titles will be in competition for the first Tribeca Games Award, which, quote, honours an unreleased game for its potential for excellence in art and storytelling through design, artistic mastery, and highly immersive worlds. I really shared. Casey Baltis, is it Baltis, do you reckon, or Baltz? How would you pronounce that last name?
I'll say Baltz.
Casey Baltz, vice president of Tribeca Games, said in a release that the 2021 selections, quote, showcase the potential for phenomenal storytelling and interactive experiences with characters and worlds that explore the deep connection we have to ourselves and the world around us, end quote. This year expands events dedicated to video games at the film festival considerably. In addition to Hideo Kojima, Jon Favreau will be joining Tribeca Film Festival's games program, and there will be a live outdoor performance of a selection of music from Rockstar Games' Red Dead Redemption 2 in New York City's The Battery. You're kind of burying the lead there, because I'm pretty sure there's a big panel, like games panel. Like, Hideo Kojima's on it, Jon Favreau's on it. Where did I get that news story from? Let me just have a look. Because like Jeff Keighley's on the panel. And I read it, and I don't know where I read it. Don't you just love it when that happens?
Yes, indeed.
Isn't it great? The human brain is a mystery. Here we go. Jeff Keighley, Hideo Kojima, Electronic Arts co-founder Bing Gordon, Remedy Entertainment creative director Sam Lake, and 343 Industries studio head Kiki Wolfkill. And Nia DaCosta, he's a filmmaker, and obviously Jon Favreau, who we just mentioned. It's a pretty good panel. It's a game award focused on storytelling. What could you want? I love good game stories.
I think we all do, don't we? For the most part. To hear that, you can see the bridge. Oh, I thought that was Kenna has been picked. That's really great to hear. 12 minutes. I think everyone's very hyped for 12 minutes since that first reveal, and to hear the voice cast for it as well, just even more brilliant as well. So, yeah, they got some great sounding games here, which is fantastic to hear. So, yeah, well done to them.
I think like based on the games that I know of from this list, and like what I know about them, like it makes me want to keep an eye on the other ones that I don't necessarily know all that much about.
Yeah,
because the common thread running through it all is like excellence in narrative, and you know, narrative games are good. I don't know how else to describe it. Not live, so like take your live services, and yeah, I don't want them. Get your free to play games. I mean, some of them are good, but nah, you know, give me a good game story. Give me Hades. Give me The Last of Us. Give me Kena, Bridge of Spirits in 12 minutes. Plus, I always keep an eye on Tribeca Film Festival anyway, because I like films.
Yeah. Who doesn't like films?
Well, I mean, capital F films. I'm pretentious. I like the arty indie films. And like Tribeca and Sundance. And there's another one, but I forget. I like to keep an eye on those. But speaking of arty things, Genesis Noir nabs 4 nominations in 2021 IGF Awards. That stands for Indie Game Fund. I should probably clarify. This is from Brendan Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz, and I took the list. I removed the words. I'm sorry, Brendan. I get it. It's an award show. Well, it's not a show, but it's an award where games are awarded things. So the Seamus McNally Grand Prize nominees are Paradise Killer, Teardown, Chicory A Colourful Tale, Genesis Noir, Umurangi Generation, and Spiritfarer. There's a lot of honourable mentions. If you want to see them all, go to gamesindustry.biz and check them out. In excellence in audio, the nominees are Say No More, Blind Dive, Sunlight, Genesis Noir, Spiritfarer, and A Monster's Expedition. Excellence in design nominees are Teardown, Disc Room, Shady Part of Me, There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension, Signs of the Sojourner, and Monster's Expedition. Excellence in narrative nominees are Lost Words, Beyond the Page, Across the Grooves, Genesis Noir, Umurangi Generation, Haven, and In Other Waters. And the excellence in visual art nominees are Genesis Noir, Arog, In Other Waters, Shady Part of Me, Call of the Sea, and Kato. Now, these guys know how to do honourable mentions. There's more honourable mentions than there are nominees.
No, that's true.
And you've done Game of the Year with me. You know how I am about honourable mentions.
I was very surprised that you put this on here because it's an award nominations thing, and it's not your thing normally.
I will take any opportunity I can get to celebrate indie games.
I knew that's what you were going to say there. Congratulations to all the games that have been nominated. I haven't played 90% of these, I would say, if not more. I'm not going to lie there. But,
some of them aren't out yet, in fairness.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm looking. It's really, really good to see this. Like we all know that there are some amazing indie games out there and everything. So, well done to all the nominations.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like. The reason we didn't talk about the DICE Awards was because it was Hades and The Last of Us. And we did that.
And Ghost of Tsushima won a lot as well.
You don't want me to talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
I never said I want you to.
I bring the mood down when I talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
But I never said you wanted you to.
No, it's just because obviously we've skipped a couple of award shows like the BAFTAs and stuff, and it's just because there's... Once you do your own Game of the Year, and then you do the Game Awards, like, there's not that many other award shows like that one time at the DICE Awards Untitled Goose Game won Game of the Year. Like, that was pretty interesting, because that one didn't come up at all on, like, any other Game Awards. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, how often can we talk about the same thing, right? But anyway... The Seamus McNally Grand Prize list of games is a fucking list of games. Like, Paradise Killer, Teardown, Chicory A Colourful Tale, Genesis Noir, Umurangi Generation, and Spiritfarer. Like, I've played most of those. And they're fucking brilliant. So, like, I hope they all win. It's the opposite of what I hope from the Epic versus Apple lawsuit. I hope all of the teams win. But I know only one will. But if you're listening to this part, you should go and get all of those games because they're all great.
They're a winner just because they're there.
I like that. They're winners. They're all winners. It's like we were talking about with Aliens, where I always stop at Aliens so that the events that follow Aliens never happened, as far as I'm concerned. So if we just ignore the winners of this award, it'll be like they all won.
That's true. And they all lived happily ever after.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. And like we don't get enough all lived happily ever afters. Especially in real life.
That's true. Time for Games Out next week, ladies and gentlemen. This is the time where Amy goes off for a pee break and I bore you with all the games coming out with my terrible reading skills. But we'll get there anyway. Days Gone, PC. You know that game that's not getting a sequel, ladies and gentlemen? I know, but hey, it's coming to PC. So how about you buy the game? They might consider making a sequel difficult. Who knows? Ride and fight into a deadly post-pandemic America. Play as Deacon St. John, drifter and bounty hunter who rides the broken road, fighting to survive while searching for a reason to live in this open world action adventure game.
That description has not aged well.
No, it doesn't. Essays of empathy,
Yeah.
PC, rated.
It's a curated compilation of Deconstruct Team's best efforts. That is a tongue twister.
That was a tongue twister and a half. That. In seeking new narrative experiences in games, explore 10 unique offbeat tales, including Del Tezal Caristo, a brand new short experience exclusive to the compilation about a couple of 2-bit comedies trying to make it big. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds terrible.
How dare you?
Showrunner, Nintendo Switch. Get ready for the next gen off-runner experience. Drive powerful vehicles and overcome extreme open environments to complete dozens of challenges, missions solo, or with up to 3 friends. Aerial Knights never yield. PC, PlayStation 5 and 4, the X Series and Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Survive a futuristic Tokyo-style Detroit in the 3D runner that tells the story of Wally, who has uncovered the evidence that can change the city forever. Explore a game world with a dope-tastic soundtrack featuring the authentic sounds of Detroit artists. I apologize for saying autistic. That was not meant to happen. I apologize for that. Offbird and Cage PC. Offbird and Cage is a unique metal album presented through a 2-hour-long story-driven game. Play music in a brand new way, featuring famous artists like Ron Bumblefoot Tly, X Guns N' Roses, Rob Van Delu, Rue Joel, and many others. What kind of fucking game is that? Just Die Already. Terrible title, okay. PC, PlayStation 5 and 4, the X Series, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. This is an old people marathon sandbox game created by the designers of Goat Simulator, who are old and angry, and you've just been kicked out of your retirement home. Oh, I remember this game. How will you survive in a world that wants you to just die already? I remember this game already.
I feel like I've been answering that question for the last couple of years, personally.
But 10 years, give or take, since a certain government came into power?
No, I don't know. I think things escalated around about September 2018.
That's fair. The Long Road on Earth, PC, iOS, and Android. A thoughtful and deeply personal title with stripped-down mechanics. The lack of dialogue or text allows you to create your own narrative through your time and with 4 characters. Each short story will allow players to be swept away by the haunting lyrics of over 20 original nostalgic songs.
Can a song be nostalgic if it's original?
No. The Wild at Heart, PC and Xbox. Mysterious Hidden Realm, 2 cautious kids, fleeing hardship, magical creatures, and an oddball order of guardians who have lost their way. An evil imprisoned welcome to the deep woods. Mayhem in the Single Valley, the PC. This is the fast-paced, puzzle-loaded action adventure. You'll juggle housework, zombie hordes, family dinners, and retroactive squirrels. So Days Gone, right?
Haha, exactly.
You have and you have to prevent the end of the world while keeping everyone from finding out it was all your fault. So Days Gone, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Kowloon High School Chronicle, I think.
Yes.
It's a hybrid RPG. It's on Nintendo Switch. It's a hybrid RPG adventure and first-person simulator game originally released in 2004 in Japan. Never before released in North America. Experience this classic title now remastered in HD on Nintendo Switch. Finally, Knockout City, PC, PlayStation 5 and 4, the X Series, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Team up and duke out with let me try that again. Team up and duke it out with rival crews in Knockout City, where epic dodgeball battles settle the score in team-based multiplayer matches. Throw, catch, pass, dodge, and tackle your way to dodgeball dominance. That's not the 5Ds, okay? Just so you know that.
I was literally about to look them up.
How they just did not put the 5Ds in there. It's an insult to sin. This game's now going to bomb because of it.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. The 5Ds of dodgeball.
The 5Ds, ladies and gentlemen. The 5Ds.
You read that out. I was literally wanting to look it up because I was like, yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for OpenCritic head-to-head.
This is the game myself and Moody play every single week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the OpenCritic average of the game gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score completely correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition. Legendary Edition. I don't know where my mind went there.
It's going to be Legendary, Amy.
It's going to be, is it?
Yeah.
Or was it already legendary?
It's going to be even more legendary.
It's going to be even more legendary. I guessed it would get an 87. Mooney guessed it would get a 90. At the time of recording, Mass Effect Legendary Edition has an OpenCritic average of 91, which puts the current scores at Amy 6, Mooney 9, Foxes 3, Keith 10, with 2 draws. I haven't gone through the list. Should I go through the list?
Nah.
Okay, I'll do it next week. Actually, I'll do it this week, because we have time. I have guessed closest so far in 2021 on the medium, Werewolf, Fallen Legend, Revenants, Bravely Default 2, Oddworld. God. Next week's podcast will be better, I promise. Oddworld, Soulstorm, Nier, and Nier Replicant. Mooney has guest closest on Little Nightmares 2, Maquette, Dawn, It Takes Two, Returnal, Resident Evil Village, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and guessed the score correctly for Stronghold Warlords. Fox has guessed closest on MLB The Show 20. MLB The Show 21 with a 3 times multiplier. Keith guessed closest on Outriders with a 10 times multiplier. And the 2 draws were Hitman 3 and Monster Hunter Rise. This week, it's time to guess the OpenCritic average of Knockout City, because what else are we going to guess? I doubt it's going to get a score. Next week, 'cause it's an online multiplayer game. But we'll just
I won't get it straight away.
It's fine. Which is fine.
So,
like, I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, you've passed it over to the next week and before, so it's what's the difference now? I'm gonna go low here. I don't think this is gonna be highly rated whatsoever. I think 65.
65.
I was tempted to go even lower, but I thought
Not a Fast and Furious situation.
I don't think this is gonna go like it's free for the first 10 days. That kind of tells me, we know what we have here, so we're going to throw it out and we'll say it's free for the first 10 days to try and get people in, and then people are just going to bounce as fast as they can.
I see what you did there. Bounce as fast, bounce. Dodgeball.
I try.
I think they learned a lesson from releasing Rocket Arena as a 40 quid game last year, and then no one bought it because... Why would they? Yeah, and that's not knocking the game. I eventually did play it,
and you enjoyed it.
And I enjoyed it, but like, very few people were going to be convinced to spend £40 on it, unfortunately. So when they lowered the price to $3.99 and put it in PS Plus and on EA Play and on Game Pass, and it started getting a little bit of an audience. I think they've just cut out that first part for Knockout City, right? And just skip straight to the part where people can play it if they have Game Pass or they have EA Play, or it's free for the first 10 days, that kind of thing. So If it's fun, it'll find an audience.
What games do if it's fun. What's your number?
69. What other number was I going to pick?
I should have saw that bugger coming by a mile away, man. Why did I not notice that?
Look,
Jesus.
69 has saved me, right? A few times, there's been a couple of times in the past, because we've been doing this game since the beginning of 2020, and when I've been on a terrible streak, like just awful. And there's been a couple of times where 69 has halted that streak. So I'm going to try it again, and we'll see what happens.
Fucking land on 70 in it.
I mean, I'm hoping it lands on 69, personally.
It's going to be worse than freaking the 80s, isn't it? I'm going to be like way off.
Have we ever done that? Because I know we've done it a couple of times where we've guessed really high on a game, and then it's come down like we're like 30 points away, like Warcraft 3 style. Have we ever been low, and then a game has gone really high?
No.
I mean, I want to be optimistic. I'd love every single game that comes up on here to get like a 100. But, unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd do something. I'm dying. Like, in this game, I'm just dying so bad right now. So I got to try and do something. And if a meme gets me some points, then a meme gets me some points.
If it does.
I choked Big Star last week. Do you know what I thought? Would you like me to take you through my inner monologue of Mass Effect Legendary Edition? Because
you thought the Mass Effect 3 was going to hurt.
Because this is my inner monologue before you said your number. My inner monologue of where I wanted to go with Mass Effect Legendary Edition after you said your number was shit. That's more or less where I want to be. 90. Because it's Mass Effect, right? Everyone has nostalgia for Mass Effect. It's going to get reviewed really well. Maybe I should say 91. Because I feel like there's more of a chance that it's going to get higher than 90 than lower than 90. But that's too much of a risk. I need to play this smart and go below it. Because, like, statistically speaking, the chances are it's going to go lower than 90 instead of higher than 90. That was my inner monologue. Thanks, Past Amy. It got a 90 fucking one. When it first hit OpenCritic, it was on a 94. I don't know if you noticed the show notes when I sent them to you, but the score hadn't been filled in, but I'd already bolded your guess, put your score up, and put Mass Effect in your thing. So I was like, you've won. You've won. Like, I'll get the number when it comes to record the podcast, but you've won, so it's fine. It's fine.
I knew the Mass Effect was going to do me good there.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm smart. I swear. I'm just not very good at numbers, okay? Clearly. How much are you looking forward to the Mass Effect trilogy? Does it unlock on your PC at midnight?
I'm not fully sure. It's downloaded, it's installed and everything, so I am hugely excited for it. I'm hugely excited for it because I'm going to stream it. So, like, I don't know when I'll start it on the PC yet because obviously I'm away from tomorrow. I'm not going to be here in my home. So, it's going to be probably sometime next week. I'm going to do the first day and my aim is to probably stream for a good few hours.
For a good few hours.
The first game of this.
Be like this. I'll be like, Moody, can you get off the stream? It's time for Among Us Saturdays, Moody. Get off the stream. Can I have my Twitch channel back, please?
You might need to do that.
It's fine. Like, the more you stream, the less I have to stream. And I'm in between things at the moment. Like, I'm not gonna stream Mass Effect because we're both gonna stream the same game. That'd be weird.
Yeah. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday is a Mass Effect stream.
Like daytime or nighttime?
It'll be
or evening time.
It might be for a lot of hours, I mean.
like until I've finished Mass Effect 1.
No, it won't be that long. I need at least 2 days, maybe 3 days for that.
I mean, those are still 3 half-day streams.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to playing it, but I think I'm more looking forward to just re-experience. Like, I don't know how often I'll be able to be in these streams, but I'm looking forward to re-experiencing it through you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Mass Effect, but your enthusiasm for Mass Effect is completely unmatched amongst anyone I've ever met. So, like, for me, I'm more hyped to have that experience via your enthusiasm while you're playing the game.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, whereas for me, I mean, I've played it a bunch of times. Like, I will play it again. But, like, I don't want to say I'm not excited because that sounds wrong for what I mean. But you get what I mean. It's like I'm not really fussed if I didn't play it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
I know
I'm
what you mean.
super hyped to be like, what I'm thinking is your enthusiasm will be infectious, and that will spur me on to be hyped to play the games again.
Thank you.
And kill Ashley.
Oh, I was already going to. I can tell you that right now.
But if you shoot Rex, our friendship is done.
I always know. I know. my game. Like, I'm so hyped for this just because there's such love or hate them or whatever. There's such the characters are amazing, and they did such a great job with them that I feel like I'm going home in some kind of way. That I'm going back to see some old friends, and that's what I'm excited about. And like, there's so many different ways that I can play this. Like, I'll probably be Paragon in the first playthrough, but I don't know if I'm gonna be femship or maleship yet. Whatever one, the next playthrough will be the next one, the next X of that, and then and vice versa. I'm gonna play this so many times. People are gonna be sick of it by then, but I'm still gonna go because I love it. And I'm gonna be like this is the thing. I've played Renegades many times. I can't shoot Rex. I never do.
Yes.
It's the only Paragon thing I always do that I do in run number 1 when I am trying to be a renegade. Everything else, I'm just like, just die.
I've like reporter, punch, whatever. Like I
punch her whatever situation I am, renegade or Paragon. I'm punching.
I never did until the third one. So
Yeah.
like in the first 2 games when I played it, like the save file that I carried over, I never punched the reporter. And then in the third one, I thought, you know what? It's the fucking last game.
You annoyed me.
So
the
I
last
just
time.
fucking bang. But then my shepherd was like, I should have done that the first time. And I was like, there's a dialogue option for people like me who have never done that before.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But like I've been reading about it, and I've heard that they've softened the Paragon Renegade conversation options, because like when you get to like certain points of each game, like if you haven't gone fully in one direction or the other, there's certain dialogue options and certain events and certain scenes that are locked out unless you have. But it sounds like they've softened those requirements a bit so you can role play. So I'm looking forward to that, because I always used to like enjoy role playing in a Mass Effect. So basically, like, I wasn't doing like a full Paragon or a full Renegade. I was just doing whatever I felt was the best. You
just wanted to be chaotic neutral.
Basically, yeah. Like,
fuck you. Oh, I like you. There we go.
Yeah. Someone, Keith compared it, like, my femship to Malcolm Reynolds, where it was like, my crew, like, I will be nice to all of them, but anybody who's not on my crew can get fucked.
I'm going to be a dick. Yeah.
Like, fuck you. You're doing my head in. Oh, hello, reporter. There we go. But, no, it's like, I'm looking forward to that, because that was one of the things I talked about in my Mass Effect Andromeda video, where it was like, I liked the fact that they took out Paragon and Renegade and replaced it with, like, Tone. So it's like, and there's no locked options. So it's like, you can just roleplay and be whoever you want to be. And it turned out...
Well, I'll say right now, ladies and gentlemen, whatever I do in the first game, I will not be romancing anybody, because I'm going for my girl in the second one, and that's Tali. Tali's my girl. She was the first romance I ever had. I didn't even realize, this is how fast I played Mass Effect 1, because I really, really enjoyed it when I played it. I didn't even realize you could romance anybody in the game. So then I just played it, went straight to number 2, and then I was saying, wait, You can romance in this game? And I was just like,
It was a big
which
thing.
one I want? I know.
I
didn't
remember. I remember playing Mass Effect 1, and my girlfriend at the time was with me, and when we realized what was happening, and we had the same sort of thing where it's like, wait, can you have like romance in this game? And then it was like, let's just do both and see what happens. Like, let's just exhaust the options, and then it turns out they both confront you, and you're like, oh shit. Like, it's not as bad as what happens in The Witcher 3, but
You think you're getting somewhere in that one, and then they just
oh, it ends perfectly.
They blue ball you so much in that game, but it's brilliant. But no, yeah, I am super excited for this. Like, really excited. Like, I'm so excited, ladies and gentlemen, that I only have it technically on PC. I've rented it from Boomerang for the Xbox, and I'm taking my Xbox with me to play it while my partner was at work.
I love it. Like, this is why we're here, right? This is why we do videos and Twitch streams and podcasts and stuff. It's like, because games are fucking great.
Yeah. I can't wait. I really am. I'm excited for it. It feels like, even though this is an old game, it's a remaster and everything like that, it just feels now we're getting somewhere in 2021. Even though we've played some amazing games already, Monster and Bravely Default 2, even though there was a really big problem in a certain part of the story of it, It Takes Two was a really good game still. You've loved Nier Automata, or Replicant, and everything like that. Like,
yeah, like Hitman, Loop Hero, Genesis Noir.
Narita Boy, I think it is the one.
Yeah, you love Narita Boy, and like Little Nightmares too. You really like that as well.
Yeah, we've had some great games so far, and yes, I know this is an old game, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it, and I can't wait for when I hear people talk about Ratchet and everything like that. I can't wait for it.
You'll hear someone talking about Ratchet.
Yeah,
we'll be doing our podcast.
Yeah, and I can't wait when me and Amy are fighting against each other in F1.
Oh God, I forgot about that. That's gonna be something.
July, Amy. July.
Oh man,
I'm off. I've finished college.
We have to get it on console though.
Oh, I'll be getting it on console. Yeah, don't worry.
Because I'm gonna rent it, but I'll probably also stream at least our first encounters.
Yeah,
I can't believe you hit me. We're on the same team. It's like, I didn't mean it. I told you I couldn't do this.
Hit me. Press the brake.
I'm not that bad. I have played Forza Horizon games, so I'm not like a total novice.
It's completely different to Forza Horizon.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, does the Formula 1 game, does it have that thing on the track where it's like the arrows with
you can have
the
that
different
in there,
colours?
Yeah,
so it tells you when to brake and shit.
Yeah. I have that on.
Sweet. Then I should be okay because Forza has that, and that's really helpful.
And you can also set up that you don't have to do you don't have to do the gears change.
Oh, definitely, I never do that. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, neither do I. So until I have a proper setup in our own place, I'll be just playing it as how I normally used to play it. Like, I have a wheel. It's under the bed. But because the room is so awkward and the chair's so awkward, how I am with the bed, with the table and everything, I can't get truly comfortable to go. I'm like this, and I'm just like, when I'm in my own car, I'm like this, like high up, and that's how comfortable. That's just how I'm used to it. So I'm not used to this.
Like when like we have to keep damage and shit turned on because I'm gonna do some spectacular things in that game.
Oh hell yeah, that's gonna be Giant's maximum simulation.
When Mark Webber drove over the top of that one car, like years and years ago, and then flipped over and crashed, like that's gonna be me. Like, I'm gonna top that, not on purpose, like, but I'm gonna top that shit.
That's to say one thing. Let's both of us, one of us, take Mazepin out. Okay.
I don't think we need to, right? Like,
yeah, that's true. Like, his AI's, they're gonna intentionally make his AI so bad they'll do it. He'll do it himself.
All right, that is gonna do it for episode whatever the fuck I said at the beginning of the Words About Games podcast. Thanks for hanging out, Mood.
Thanks for having me.
It was a weird news week this week.
Yeah, up and down, craziness.
But like, wow, closing my laptop really changes the lighting profile of my entire face.
Yeah, that's why I've shut down the Google Doc, because you just see my right side white as hell.
I should just
And
turn.
I'm already white.
Yeah, I don't need to go any whiter.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like see, but when we talk about games, we always bring it back around
We do, ladies and gentlemen.
because we love games. Games are
We
great.
do.
More games. That's why I started the podcast with those two stories about all the games we've got to look forward to.
All the games in the
All
world.
games.
We're looking forward to them all.
I shouldn't have done that. Why did I drum on the thing right next to my microphone? Next week's podcast will be better. I apologize for everything I've done tonight. I've had a fucking nightmare. Jesus.
You've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God, I've had such a fucking nightmare tonight. Say bye, Moody.
Hi, Moody.